Hi guys, it's Quinn. How are you doing? Today my special guest is Maggie Eleanor. This is Maggie. Say hello. Well, Maggie Eleanor was my very first haunted doll that I purchased about a year and a half ago. This is Maggie, and she has on her long christening gown. And when I brought her, she had this on, and she has a matching bonnet that matches the dress, but right now the bonnet is in the doll clothes area. Okay, let me tell you the story. A year and a half ago, I was on YouTube searching for how to make DIYs for like yard decorations or whatever. And I believe it was Brian Labrisky or something like that. He had a video titled The Haunted Doll, and I was like, let me check this out. So I looked at it, and I was like, what is wrong with these people? And as I read the comments, they were saying, check this Facebook group out. So I went to Facebook, I searched the group, and I got accepted the very next day, and it was called Spirited Dolls and Haunted Halls. So I was reading it, just reading what everyone was posting, and I was like, I think these people have lost their minds. There is no way that spirits can get into a doll and live. And I said, when people die, they either go to heaven or hell. They can't get into a doll. I mean, that's what I was thinking. So I researched and watched tons and tons of videos, and people were talking about their experiences. And I was like, okay, I got to see this for myself. I got to find out. I've always been able to see spirits ever since I was a very little girl up until now. I can also communicate with them and everything. Basically, I found an antique store in town, and I went there, and I kept looking and kept looking and kept looking. And when I got there, it's like I just walked right to her. And I was like, okay, there are some good spirits and there are not so good spirits. So how do I know that this is not going to come home and be like a demon or something? So what I did was I snapped a picture of her and I posted it in the group. And I was like, hey, you know, what do you guys think of her? And I walked around the antique store about 5 minutes. No one responded. So I inboxed my friend Bradley. And he was like, oh my gosh, I love her. You know, definitely get her. And I paid, I believe she was $50, but they have a great sale every once in a while. She was 20% off, then plus some more stuff. So I wound up paying, I think, $35 for her, something like that. But anyways, we got home. Oh, the lady was asking me, do I want her to put her in a sack? I was like, oh, no, don't do that. So we got home, and I showed my children her, and my little one was so intrigued with her. My oldest was like, you know, whatever. She's on to talking on that cell phone and texting and doing all that crap. But anywho, let me tell you about the first night. Okay. Well, you know, what I learned to do is always let your spirits know your house rules, such as my rules are: do not go to the bathroom for any reason, do not do anything to scare or hurt my children or myself, and get along with the other spirits if I choose to get other spirited items. Okay, pretty simple. Well, I went to bed and everything was quiet, and my daughter texted me about 1 a.m. in the morning. Of course, a.m. is morning. Sorry, it was about 1 a.m. My daughter texted me, Mom. And so I was like, what does she want? So she said, call me now. I was like, okay. So I called her. I was like, hey, what is it? She was like, please come here, please. I was like, okay. So I went to her bedroom, and she was not in there. And so I texted her back. I said, where are you? And she said, I'm outside. She said, I'm not coming back in there. So I put my shoes on, went outside, and she was sitting behind my car. She was like, Mama, I was laying down. You know, everything was quiet. and I heard a baby giggling. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, it was a baby giggling, like on my side of the bed. And I was like, oh, okay, I mean, it's probably, Maggie. And she's like, I'm not going back in there. And I left Maggie on the couch to sleep. And so when she left her bedroom, she was going to go to the living room to lay down on the couch. But I had Maggie laying on the couch, and she was like, oh, no. So that's when she went out the front door and called me. Anywho, I was not familiar with what they call reading a doll. It's where you can look at a doll and tell if it's spirited, tell all about the spirit, their name, age, their life, how they passed or whatever. I don't like to ask my spirits how they passed until I'm comfortable with communicating with them, because some of them don't want to talk about it or relive it. I respect them. It's one thing I do. I do give them my respect. I treat them like they're a member of my family, and I encourage my children to do the same. Well, what was I saying? Anywho, I put Maggie on the group. I was like, can someone tell me her name and age? And one person said, this is Maggie, she's an infant. And another person that I trust said her name is Eleanor, and she's an older lady, like late 80s, early 90s. And I was like, well, maybe there's two spirits that sharing one vessel. So since I cannot confirm that, I just call her Maggie Eleanor in case it is two. But she's a very, very good spirit, gentle spirit. Never had any problems with her. And this is Maggie. She was my very first one, and I love her to pieces. Let's see, let me raise her dress up. I have some pants on her because I changed her outfit. This is how tall she is. Whoops. And I think she came with some little bitty off-white shoes, little baby shoes also. But like I said, this is Maggie. And if you have any other questions about anything, just write them down below. And also, if you want to know how to communicate with spirits, always, first of all, be careful. Because you never know, if a spirit is just lying to you, and they could be something that they're not. I brought this thing right here. It's the ghost meter. Got it on, I think, Amazon. No, I didn't. Either Amazon or eBay. It was, I think, $20. What it does, you turn it on, and the spirits can manifest and touch it or whatever, come around, and it'll go all the way to the red. And how this sounds right here, it'll steady go off. And what I'll do is turn my heater on to show you how it is whenever they're active like that. It'll steady go off like that, and the meter will go all the way over that way. Now, a lot of them do not like to communicate with this. I do have some apps on my phone that are reliable that I do use and trust. Also, what else? My other dolls. I'm sorry, my other spirits are just staring at me. Something else I was going to say, but I forgot. Anywho, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you later.